Hey guys, welcome back to Pop 'em Up Food, and we got your second episode of Dank Munch right here. And today we're doing spaghetti with broccoli. So the aim of this series is still to give you cheap and tasty dank munch, and we're going to continue that trend today. This food has that dirty Italian food vibe that's just great when you're rooting around your kitchen in the middle of the night, come back in from a late night out, revising to make some food and just plow through it. Okay, so let's go through what you're going to need for this recipe. Now, I haven't pictured the broccoli here because it's fine if you just grab a bag of frozen broccoli for this. About half a kilo is going to do you fine. I think I've got a 600-gram bag for this video, but here or there doesn't matter. You're going to need some spaghetti. About 400 grams will do you fine as well. After that, all you're going to need is some olive oil, some cream. Here I've got whipping cream, but double cream might be a little bit better. I just had this in my fridge. 1 white onion and some butter. Again, if you're a vegan person, then I don't know, what do they do? Almond cream? They probably do something like that for the replacement for the cream. I don't know, Google cream replacement for vegans and use that instead. Same with your butter. And then just for your basic mode, you can use some of your like pre-packaged, pre-grated Italian hard cheese that you'll find in any supermarket. And if you want to go bougie like I have here today, then get yourself some nice fresh hard Italian cheese. And you are going to need a blender for this one. So the one I'm using here is not expensive, as you'll see later on in the video, and neither does yours to get the job done for this recipe. Okay, let's get stuck into it then. First thing you want to do is bring a pot of water to the boil on the hob, get it nice and hot, chuck a load of salt in there, and then add your broccoli. Pop on the lid and leave it to cook for about 10 minutes. Okay, while that's getting going, we're just going to pop over to our chopping board and then we're going to chop an onion. I realized that a lot of you probably don't know how to do this very well, but basically you want to chop the top off, peel the onion, and then chop it up into small pieces. I'll probably do a separate video on that key skill. Luckily for this recipe, because we're going to be using a blender, it's not the end of the world if you have irregular or slightly large chunks of onion, so don't worry too much about that. Once you've got that all chopped up, you want to get your cream ready. So like I said before, about 4 tablespoons here, but you can give or take a little bit more here, and sometimes it might be nice when it's cooking, as you'll see in a moment, to add a little bit more if you like it a little bit more creamy. Awesome. Okay, so once your broccoli's done, take that off, drain it, and then get a pan on and get some of that butter in. Like I said, it doesn't really matter how much butter. I'm a big fan, so I put a lot in. Then wait for it to melt. Now, if you're a vegan, don't just use oil here. Go and use some vegan version of butter because it is all about getting the flavor in it. Then bang that onion in, and then you're going to want to stir and cook this regularly for about 5 minutes. You don't want this to burn, you just want all the onions to soften and go slightly translucent. And while you're doing that, you can tend to your garden and listen to that sizzle. So now you just want to tend to that for about 3 or 5 minutes. Now you don't want to get these onions golden or crispy. You just want to get them nice and soft, nice and translucent so they get that buttery flavor. And then as they are becoming more cooked, you're going to bring your broccoli up and get ready to add your drained dry broccoli. And this is going to give a lovely little sizzle. Once you've got that all added in, you're going to give it a good little stir and just cook it for about, maybe 30 seconds, a minute by itself. Then once you've done that, you're just going to take that cream that you've already measured out and you're just going to drizzle that cream evenly over the mixture you've just made in the pan. Now you're going to turn the heat right down once you add the cream and give that a stir so that everything in the pan is coated. And we're going to cook this for about 10 minutes on a super low heat. So this is the perfect time for us to get our pasta going. So you just, again, want to get a big pan of water and then get that on the boil. Once you've got your water on the boil, make sure you add a little bit of salt. I'm just putting the water on the boil on the back burner here. And then once I've got that water salted and boiled, ready to start cooking my pasta, I'm just going to move this mixture on the front to the right-hand side on a super low heat on the small ring and then we're going to get looking at our pasta straight away. So rip open your dried spaghetti and then grab all of the spaghetti in a bunch in your hand and put it into the water. Now, what you're going to slowly do is you're going to slowly apply pressure to the pasta, because as the water is absorbed into the pasta, it will soften. You can see that I'm slowly pushing downwards. Obviously, don't push too hard. You don't want to do that. You don't want to force and then accidentally put your hand into the boiling water. You're just going to see that I'm slowly moving towards, and then at the end, there's enough of a bend for me to just submerge all of the pasta in the water, cover it up, and I'm going to stir that maybe 2 or 3 times over the course of the next 8 to 10 minutes while it cooks, and then I'm going to go and sort out my sauce. Now, once you've had your sauce on a low simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes and you've got a nice thick coated mixture of your onion and broccoli in the cream, you're going to transfer that all into your blender and then blend it all up. You can see here that your blender may need a little bit of extra love if you've got one that is as terrible as mine. And that's going to slowly puree the bottom. If you've got a good blender, it will just do it all at once. So what you're going to do, if it doesn't blend all at once, is just take the cap off, give it a mix around, and then halfway through, take some salt, take some pepper, add those both in, and then just finish off the blending / shaking process. And you'll be left with kind of something that is a nice puree that's not too thin, but also not too thick as well. So I like mine a little bit thicker here, but if you like it a little bit smoother, just add a bit of cream. Once you've got that done and your pasta is finished, you're going to drain your pasta. So put your colander in the sink, pour your pasta in, make sure you drain off any excess water, and then head over and dunk it all in the pan. Throw in your broccoli mixture and give it a real good stir to get all of the pasta coated. You're going to take a little bit of time stirring it. You want it to be coated. You don't want to miss parts. So really give it a good old stir. And that's it. Just got to grab yourself a grater and a bowl. Grater if you're bougie. Otherwise, just grab your pack of pre-grated stuff. Pop your pasta in a bowl. Grate some of your hard cheese, Parmesan, and the like on top. And you got yourself some dank munch. And so that's it for another episode of Dank Munch. Really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, and share this channel if you like the content. Comment below if you want to see me make anything else.